Are you thinking about moving to a Seattle suburb, but you just can't decide on which one? Well, this video, I'm going to go over the top 10 Seattle suburbs according to niche.com. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, this is Tova Williamson, and on this channel, we shoot tons of videos on what it's like to live in the Seattle metro area. So if you want more of these videos, go ahead and click subscribe and click on that bell so you'll be notified every time that new videos come on. We honestly get reach outs every day from people wanting to move to the Seattle area, and we love hearing from you guys. We love helping out, but we can't help unless you reach out. So give us a call, email, text, whatever you got to do, because we got your back when moving to Seattle. Okay, so today we're going to talk about suburbs. A lot of people are wanting to move out of the city, especially if they're able to work from home. The suburbs are becoming more appealing to people. So I'm going to give you the top 10 suburbs of Seattle. This is according to niche.com, Niche. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, so they give a list of the best suburbs, family suburbs. They rate everything. They rate it based on affordability, schools, crime, diversity, housing, all sorts of stuff. So we're going to go over the top 10 homes or top 10 suburbs in Seattle, according to niche.com. So we're starting at number 10. We'll count down, get really excited here to hear about the number one. So number 10, we got Lake Forest Park. So this area is just north of Seattle a little bit. Other than that, all the rest of these are on the east side, just to give you a little clue into what we're looking at here. So here's Lake Forest Park right here, just north of downtown Seattle. So if you can see, if you see here, this is Seattle. So Lake Forest Park just sits right along Lake Washington. It's a really small little suburb. It's really quaint. You'll find some larger lots here, very, as the name implies, very foresty. It's right on the lake. So you've got a lot of lake. There's a lot of big trees and wooded. A lot of the lots are just kind of like woodsy and cozy, I guess. But it's a really nice little community. Very quiet. The Burt Gilman Trail, and I think it turns into like the Lake Sammamish Trail, but it's a bike trail that goes, or I'm sorry, the Sammamish River Trail. So Burt Gilman kind of goes up along here, and then it turns into the Lake Sammamish River Trail. So you've got that kind of along Lake Forest Park. So if you're into biking, even walking on some of those trails, you've got that proximity there. So the niche scores, I'm going to go over schools, housing, crime, safety, and cost of living for the grades. So Lake Forest Park niche score for schools is an A. So they're rated pretty well in the school area. Housing gets a B minus because of the size of the town. Like there's just not a ton of homes in the area. So there's just not always a lot of availability. It has become a very popular place to move to. Typically less expensive than Seattle, but prices are rising in that area. So I think that's why it gets a B minus for housing. Crime and safety, it gets a B. So it's a relatively safe area. Hopefully you're not going to bump into too much crime and unsavory activity in this area. Cost of living gets a C minus. That's because, the Seattle area in general tends to be a little bit higher on the cost of living scale. Home prices here are pretty high compared to other places in the country. So Lake Forest Park, the median home price for July 2021, this is for single family homes, was $937,000. So just a tidbit here, this is the only city on this list that's under $1 million for median home price. So again, doesn't mean you can't find a home for under $1 million. There's condos, there's smaller homes, but that's kind of the median range for the homes in that area. So that's number 10, Lake Forest Park. So number 9, we've got Kirkland. So Kirkland, I'll show you on the map, is right here. It's east of Seattle. So again, let's zoom out. We got downtown Seattle. We got Kirkland right here. It borders along Lake Washington. You got 405 that cuts right through. Bothell, Woodinville kind of merge down into it. And then it's just west of Redmond. So Kirkland has been an area that's gotten very popular over the last couple of years. It's always been a pretty popular little area, but just now it's just seen a lot of proper popularity, and the home prices have really risen there. It kind of has a beachy feel. The downtown is right along the water, can kind of feel like a little touristy area. It's really cute. The downtown area is very walkable, and shops and restaurants. The more you get out though, it's definitely more suburban, definitely more strip malls and things like that. You've got Totem Lake, which is a new shopping center that they've kind of built up that's over by 405. That's kind of like Northeast Kirkland. So that area is bringing a lot of new like retail and shops to the area, which is kind of fun. But mostly Kirkland, you're going to find like split level homes built in like the 70s and 80s. That was kind of like in the 90s. That's kind of like the main era of homes there. We are seeing more new construction in the area too, mostly townhomes though. Again, Kirkland, because it's got water, it's sandwiched in to all these other cities. There's not a ton of just like open land to build, but we are seeing some, where they're just packing in tons of townhouses in the area. So for the niche scores, school, Kirkland got an A+. So people are really into that school district. The Kirkland School District and the schools there are very highly rated. Housing, it gets a C+. Again, it's just, there's not a ton of open space to build. So it's just really limited, and houses there go, they get snatched up really quick. They get multiple offers. So there's just not a lot of options always there. And then the new construction just tends to be like even more expensive than some of these older homes. So housing, it gets a C+. Crime and safety, it gets a B-. So again, relatively safe area. Cost of living, C- too. So same thing. It's just this area is more expensive. So for Kirkland, the median home price for July 2021 was 1.25 million. And that we've seen jump big time compared to last year. So Kirkland's definitely on people's radar. It's definitely getting more popular. Prices are going up. So that was number 9, Kirkland. Number 8, we've got Newcastle. So Newcastle is an area that's just southeast of Seattle, in downtown Seattle. It's got a golf course there. So let's see if we can find it. Newcastle right here, just south of I-90. It borders Cougar Mountain, which is a really popular area for hiking. You can have like amazing views if you hike up in that area, and Tiger Mountain also to the east. So you're really close to some really good nature in this area. Again, it's got a world-class golf course. That's what they call it. So if golfing is your jam, then Newcastle could be a good spot for you. It's got a kind of a small town feel. They do have their own little like downtown area, but then they're close enough to the city. You've got Factoria here, which is a like big mall in Bellevue. So you've got some shopping, and then they've got Lake Bourne Park, which is a nice big park. And there we go, Quail Creek Natural Area. So there's a lot of nature in this area. Again, I see a lot of new construction homes in this area too. A lot of the homes also were built in the like 80s and 90s too. So niche scores, they got an A+ in schools, really good schools. I think they also border with like some of the Issiquah school district, which is also very popular. So they have a very highly rated school system there. Housing is a C+. Again, it's just like you see on the map, they're bordered by mountains and the freeway and water. So there's just not a ton of like inventory for housing in Newcastle. Crime and safety, they get a B. Cost of living, a C again. So median home price for Newcastle was 1.12 million in July of 2021. So again, it's up there. You can find homes less, but you're looking at $1 million homes in that area. So number 7, we've got Issiquah, which is a very popular area. Issaquah's got a good mix of single family homes and condos. You've got Issiquah here. It's along I-90. Again, it's like really close to all these mountains, and Snoqualmie Pass over here. So people that are outdoor enthusiasts, Issiquah is a really good place to be. You've got the downtown area over here, and then you've got the Issiquah Highlands up here, which is like a pre-planned community. So you'll find a mix of like single family homes and condos. Most of the homes in that area have really small yards though, because it's all just packed in, but it's a really nice, quaint area. So one thing to note too, Issaquah, the commute into Seattle is somewhat decent because you can just pop on I-90 and it's a much like wider, better freeway compared to like I-5 and 405. So Issaquah schools get an A+, housing gets a B-, crime and safety, they get a B-, and cost of living is a C-. So the median home price in Issaquah was 1.32 million for July of 2021. So again, getting up there, can find things for less, but you're looking at the $1 million range for Issaquah. Number 6, we got Mercer Island, which is, if you can't tell by the name, an island that's just pretty much straight east of Seattle, sits in between Seattle and Bellevue. It's very popular. It's also very expensive. So you see here, I-90 just cuts through the top. It's a really nice area. They have a ton of parks, a lot of waterfront properties. There's like huge estate homes on Mercer Island. It's just a really desirable place to be. So Mercer Island gets an A+ for schools. They get a C+ for housing, I think just because also they're on an island, so it's very limited in what is available. Crime and safety is a B-, and cost of living is a C-. So median home price for Mercer Island was just over 2 million for July of 2021. So your money definitely doesn't go as far there. I mean, $1 million gets you pretty much a fixer on Mercer Island. So, but again, if the neighborhood and the area is worth it to you, it might be worth that trade-off to get a house that needs some work to live in this very desirable area. Number 5, we've got Yarrow Point. So that is a very small little point inlet right up here. I honestly didn't even know it was its own town. I thought it was just a neighborhood of Bellevue, but it is its own town. It's on a little peninsula. There's a lot of view homes. The population is 1,000 people, so it's tiny. I mean, there's not even like a grocery store in Yarrow Point. You're going to be driving into Bellevue to go there. So it's pretty much just houses here, and it's very limited and expensive because of that. So Yarrow Point, I mean, it's got 405 total homes, just to put in perspective for you. So of course, prices are going to be high there. But they do get an A+ in schools. I think they do have their own school system there. So they get a big boost in the schools. Also, they neighbor Clyde Hill, which we'll talk about, comes up on the list too, but this is a very desirable area as well. So they bleed into that school district, and it's a very good school district. Housing, they get a C+, again, because there's 400 houses in the whole town. So you're very limited on your choices there. Crime and safety, they get an A-. So, you know, pretty safe place to be. Cost of living, C-. The median home price in Yarrow Point was 3.925 million. So if you've got multi-millions to spend, Yarrow Point could be the place for you. Number 4, we've got Sammamish. We'll just keep the map up while we're talking. Sammamish is just east of Lake Sammamish. It encompasses a pretty large area. It's very desirable. It's got a small little town area, which is really cute. Otherwise, it can be really rural. And so that could be a good place if you're looking to get away from it all, to kind of just be like set away from people. You can still drive up to Redmond or even down to Issiquah to get, you know, to more exciting shops or things. But it's kind of a quiet place. The homes there tend to be pretty big, and the lots are big because there is a lot of space. So people just like go out and build like huge homes out there. But it's very close to the outdoors too. So if you're into the outdoors, that could be your place. But if you're commuting like into Seattle, it can be a pretty tough commute because you got to go down around the lake and then into Seattle. If you're working at like Microsoft in Redmond or working in Bellevue, it's a little bit closer, a little bit better to commute from. So Sammamish gets an A+ for schools, B+ for housing, B- for crime and safety, and a C- for cost of living. The median home price was 1.56 million. So again, still up there, but you'll tend to find larger homes in Sammamish for your money, where Issiquah is at 1.3. I mean, some of those homes are big too, but Sammamish, the homes are gonna be bigger and the lots are gonna be bigger too. So number 3, we've got Clyde Hill, which again, we had talked about before. It's borders Bellevue. Again, it's a very, very small town, kind of its own little thing. Not a lot. I mean, it has its own school district, but still, I don't even think there's a store here either. I think you've got to go like out of the area. So definitely has a quiet lifestyle. It has really large lots. There was a city ordinance in Clyde Hill that the homes have to be on a minimum of 20,000 square feet. So Clyde Hill, you're going to get really big lots, but you're also going to pay for that because the median home price in Clyde Hill is 3.25 million. So, you know, you get the lots, but it costs you. The schools get an A+, housing gets a C+ because of that. I think, you know, the lots are so big, there's very limited housing, and then it brings the price way up. So housing is kind of a bummer. Crime and safety, they get an A, and then cost of living is a C- too, just because, as you can see, the median home price is $3 million. Next, we've got Bellevue, which I think is a pretty popular area. A lot of people know about. Bellevue kind of started off as a suburb to Seattle. Now it's really grown into its own. It's right here. It's pretty much straight east of Seattle. They've got their own downtown area. They've got like Bellevue Square, which is a really big shopping center, like high-end shopping. There's some places that border like sammamish, so you can find some great view homes over here. Same thing with Western Bellevue along the water. There's quite a few parks here. So, you know, Bellevue's really grown into become its own city with its own culture and nightlife and things to do. So it's not like so dependent on being the suburb of Seattle. So the niche score, they got an A+ in schools. Bellevue's known for their really good school district, and people like really want to live there because of that. Housing is a C+, because again, because so many people want to live in the area, there's not a lot of housing. People are moving here. There's just limited supply. So it doesn't get a very good score in housing. Crime and safety, it gets an A. I think it's a relatively pretty safe place to live. Cost of living gets a C-. Oh, I'm sorry. Bellevue gets a C in crime and safety. So not as safe as some of the other areas. And cost of living gets a C-. I think some of the crime and safety issues might be, you know, like violent crime is pretty low in our area, but it's more of the property crime that we see where people, you know, will break into cars, smash and grabs, we call them, you know, like don't leave anything valuable in your car. Downtown Bellevue, you know, sometimes you can hear like with the clubbing scene and stuff, sometimes you'll hear about some things going on late at night. So I think that's where their crime and safety rating comes in. But median home price in Bellevue for July was 1.68 million. So, you know, definitely not as much as Clyde Hill or Yarrow Point, but it's still up there. Like you're still going to pay more in Bellevue compared to Issiquah, Kirkland, and Redmond and some of those areas. So then number one, according to Niche, we've got the number one suburb in Seattle. Are you ready? Are you excited? It's Redmond. So Redmond is just northeast kind of Seattle, right over here. It's home to Microsoft. It's got a little downtown area, pretty cute. They've got Marymore Park here that borders like Sammamish. They'll have concerts and a lot of events at Marymore Park in the summertime. So it's, you know, it's a nice area. It's very family oriented. You're not going to find a ton of like exciting nightlife here. You can go into Bellevue for that, but Redmond is the number one suburb of Seattle, according to niche.com. So they get an A+ in schools. Again, Redmond has really good schools. I think with Microsoft being there, there's just more like tech-minded people, and they focus on like the STEM academics, the science and technology. And I think, you know, they just have like higher standards there. So they like demand more from the schools. So the schools are very highly rated. Housing is a B. So, you know, it's okay. Downtown area is you're going to find some condos, townhouses, then you get more spread out. I mean, the more east you go in Redmond, it can feel really rural out here, and you can get some bigger homes and some nicer areas with more space to spread out. So they do have a little bit more like wiggle room for housing compared to some of these other cities that we've seen. Crime and safety, They get a C, which is interesting that it's the number one, but it still has the crime and safety. Again, I don't really know if it's mostly some of this property crime, like break-ins and stuff. I don't really know what's driving that score. But they're kind of middle range for the crime and safety. Again, I still think for the most part, you're going to be like relatively safe in any of these areas. And the cost of living is a C minus. So the median home price for July 2021 was 1.39 million in Redmond. So again, it's up there. You can find less expensive homes, but to get a decent, good sized family home, you're going to be looking at the $1 million range. So there you have it. There are the top 10 Seattle suburbs, according to niche.com. So if you're thinking about moving to any of these suburbs or any other suburbs for that matter, give us a call. We can't help you unless you call us. So text, email, phone, whatever you got to do, but we got your back when you're moving to the Seattle area.